Hello, everybody. This is Grace with Grace on a Journey Channelings. Welcome to the newcomer, and to those of you returning, welcome back. You are loved, valued, and very much appreciated. Now, in case no one asked you today, how are you doing? I'm taking the opportunity to ask you, how are you doing today? Take a moment and connect with that. What do you have gratitude for today? And what can you do tomorrow to make it a better day than today? Now give yourself some love and give yourself a big, real hug. I had to insert that real hug because many people give fake hugs and fake handshakes and fake smiles. And one of my missions, as I have many things to do, is to help people reconnect with their authentic selves, learning to smile when you're smiling from inside. Learning to give a hug when it is in sincerity. Learning to shake hands with those that are our allies. It's going to take some work, but we can make the change. Now, this is just a gentle reminder to remind you of the necessity to balance your chakras every day. Let's do our chakra exercise. Crown chakra. I know. I know that I am infinite. Third eye chakra. I see. I see from the patterns of my life that I can trust my intuition. Throat chakra. I speak. I speak with authenticity. Heart chakra. I love. I love others because I learned to love myself. solar plexus chakra. I can. I can own my power. Sacral chakra. I feel. I feel that I am passionate about my life. Root chakra. I have. I have learned to love being in my own skin. Now, for some reason, I was inspired to use my singing bowl. And so I will take the opportunity to do that right before we get into today's topic. It will give us an opportunity to take a deep breath, to connect with our higher selves, and to be open to truth. Confirmation. I'm just emotional about what I'm about to say. But I'm glad I listened to the guidance that was given to me to use that singing bowl. I used it thinking this would help me to connect and it would bring more calm and we can meet on the same vibration. But other than that, what I gained from that experience is a message. I noticed the first sound was clear. The second sound was clear. The third sound was muffled. It was not as loud. It was in need of a raise in vibration to make it uniform to what we heard previously. That right there is telling me that collectively there is a necessity to find balance. Balance is the fruit of the universe. It's also telling me there is disalignment. And what makes today's topic interesting is the fact that it will assist you. Today's topic will assist you in finding realignment and guiding you towards your power, your birthright. Now, today's topic was inspired by many downloads that I received before I got on here. And what I'm noticing is if you make yourself available to receiving downloads, and you are dedicated to take the steps, to take the steps being offered, receiving the guidance that you're getting, I notice it increases. So, in other words, when you follow your intuition, it puts you in alignment with being connected and receiving guidance that will keep you aligned, balanced, and give you the ability to fulfill your soul's purpose. Now, for today's title, I decided to go with Tighten Up. And I love the inspiration I had that gave me today's title. Without going into too much detail, I was able to see and hear what was being done to keep me protected. I was able to see what was being done. Do you understand what I'm saying? That is a gift, to be able to see what is going on that only spiritual eyes can see. My God. I know I'm good. And I know where I stand. In fact, after everything was shown to me and everything was explained to me, I began to hear my voice as if I was teaching what was just introduced to me in relation to different ways that the collective can adapt in order to improve their protection status. Because I'm going to tell you right now, there are some that are not protected. Okay? It doesn't matter how many crystals you stuff in your bra, because I heard people do that, thanks to TikTok. Or if you have crystals all over your home, or if you submerge yourself in these different potions, I can say, from the market, suggesting that it will keep evil away, or, it will keep spirits away. It will reverse spiritual attacks. Oh, everything is out there, isn't it? And the funny thing is, most people that were not raised in that walk of life, let's put it that way, are being introduced to a whole new world. Because we never considered or participated in learning about agriculture and herbs, their essence, what they symbolize, oils, their different uses, crystals, and the energy they represent. This is not an easy road, especially for those that found themselves in this realm with a mission of self-defense, right? Especially when you didn't ask for war. In fact, you don't even like conflict. You don't even argue. Because soon as I see an argument, I'm off. Right? Not all of us have the energy to waste. or allow others to drain you. Because what some of you don't even realize, a lot of these arguments you're having, or the debates, or, the misunderstandings, are strategically brought into your life to energy harvest off of you. These agents of darkness walk around with the agenda to make your life as miserable as theirs. And it is your responsibility, number one, to separate yourselves. And number two, today's title, which is Tighten Up. Yes. A lot of you are too relaxed. A lot of you need to comprehend that learning to protect yourself is no longer an option. Now, although what I'm about to say may trigger those in their ignorance, but there are a lot of you that are under spiritual attack and not even aware of it. And the reason why is because it's been going on for so long. And the sad part is some people pass in that condition. This is why taking the time to schedule an appointment with yourself, for yourself, every day is important, because you need to ask yourself, is everything okay? How is my health? Physical, mental, spiritual. How are my finances? How is my close-knit family? How much progress am I making towards my goals? Do I feel stuck? When I wake up in the morning, am I glad to be alive? You see, when you ask yourself these questions, you begin to pinpoint the areas that need your attention. You begin to recognize the patterns. For example, your relationships. You break up with this person because of XYZ. You meet a different person, different culture, different educational status, different circle of friends. And you notice he has those same traits. You're recognizing their character to be that one of your ex. And then you go to another relationship, people. And what happens? Now, this makes me smile because I was having a discussion with my old supervisor one time. And she made a comment that it just takes 2 times to make a pattern. And I said, nah, I don't necessarily agree with that because, it could just be trial and error or, I think you should allow more than one go before you decide this is a pattern. But more and more I'm realizing that's usually how it goes. If you are meeting the same spirit in a different body consecutively, 1, 2, 3, you better look into what's really going on. Because some of you are cursed. And I know you don't want to hear it. I know you don't even want to know it. I know you're afraid of that knowledge. The fear of that knowledge is what causes some mothers to lose a child. You think that's enough? Right? And then they lose a second child. And then they lose a third child. Oh, it's because of violence. It's the streets. It's the police. It's the fact that the father wasn't home. It's the fact that we are in poverty, but we are physical, mental, spiritual. Have you checked the spiritual side? Because those that don't investigate thoroughly physical, mental, spiritual may begin the generational curse. Grandma lost 3 children. Mother loses 1 or 2. Yeah, it's something to look into. I said it's something to look into. There are times that you're losing people around you, not only children, but those wives who have one husband, he passes away. 2 husbands, passes away. 5 husbands pass. How long is it going to take? I just want to ask somebody out there. How long is it going to take for us to remember we are physical, mental, and spiritual? Now, a lot of you connect spirituality solely with religion. In fact, that's what you consider religion. And you consider everything else that does not fit under your umbrella of religion to be cultish. Am I right? I said, am I right? But today we are recognizing the highlights of spirituality, right? When we are learning to practice introspection, we are learning to make better choices. We are learning what integrity really means. We are learning how to overcome an addiction, right? This is not me telling you that your book and preference is not needed, is not valued, is not of importance, because I embrace the Word of God wherever it comes from. If it is the Word of God, God and I are clear. If I am not clear, if I still have questions, if I don't know for sure, we are taking a journey called life. We are in a school. We will meet teachers and students. And sometimes we will be teachers and students. And through life and experiences and our circles and who we interact with, we learn these practical truths without a doubt. In fact, you know God even more when you've had your own situation where he had to step in, where you had to lead on him, where he had to guide you. Because we are given a life to experience the process called life. And a lot of us miss what we were sent here to learn. You know why? Knowledge, right? That's a bad word, right? In fact, you're programmed to not gain knowledge. Because then you'll see nakedness, you'll see truth. You'll see reality. Is it time to wake up? I just want somebody to ring the alarm. But only if it's time to wake up. You see, that's the decision that you have to make for yourself. In fact, the next time you pray, you may want to say, "Thank you, God, for my brain. Thank you, God, for teaching me how to use what you gave me. Thank you, God, for my intuition," right? Thank you for allowing it to guide me to make wise choices. Confirmation. Okay, double confirmation. What I'm trying to explain to you respectfully is to pay attention to the details. Okay? Because a lot of the factors are being neglected. And so even when grandma sat with your grandma and had the same church membership, and mom sat next to your mom and had the same church membership, confirmation, and daughter sat next to your daughter and had the same church membership, what about the generational curses in the closet? I said, what about the generational curses in the closet? How do we empower ourselves and become generational curse breakers? One, put down fear. Don't you want to feel how it is to stop holding the backpack of fear and walking through life in fear? And training your children to be in fear, your grandchildren to be in fear. When is it going to be okay for you to gain insight on how to manage every area associated with life? We know about the physical, right? In fact, it's even approved, right? It's been legalized by our rules, what we can do and what we can't do. Oh, it's okay to go to the doctor. Yes. It's okay to take medication. An x-ray? Okay. And then when it comes to areas in relation to surgeries, child, even in relation to blood tests, people, there are those who are afraid to take blood tests who say, well, we pray. And that's how we make it today, right? And you never discover the ailments that needed tending to. Because you focused on the physical and on occasion, the mental. Because I have sat down. This is true story. And that probably happened for this moment in time for me to share this. And heard a pastor say, 12-step groups, and that's where people go to reconnect with a healthier lifestyle and make peace. Return to their soul. The pastor said the 12-step groups are demonic. Yes. Okay. They are demonic. This is what was said on the pulpit. Now, obviously, I didn't agree. And this is why And this is how those who use their brains understand when it's time to agree and when it's time to use my discernment. Okay? If I have a child and the child is on drugs, and there's a support group for drugs, and the pastor said it's demonic, don't make me say out loud what the pastor needs as a reality check. You see? And I am not bashing. I want to make that clear. Every church to be identical. Because a lot of the knowledge that I've gained was through a church. I woke up one day and I wanted to lose weight. But I said, confirmation. I invested this way, that way, this way, that way, this way again. I tried things again. I said, maybe it didn't work the first time. Let me do it this way. Didn't work, right? I joined a support group where I had the opportunity to be transparent. In fact, it was in these moments I learned transparency. I learned the mask is the weight. And someone needs to know the mask is the addiction. When you have a safe place to go to every week at a certain time, and you have people to hold you accountable. Now, there were people from all walks. Some people that attended these groups at the support group at the other church were cutters. You would see their arms sliced up. I remember something I will never forget. This teenage girl shared with us, and this was not in the group, because whatever is in the group should be staying where? In the group. But you know, some people don't have that type of respect. But this was not discussed in the group. This was discussed in fellowship. And it was hot, right? Not in the room, but it was very hot outside. And so there were a couple of her peers that approached her, and It's a style, you know? Some people are daring enough. See, I know how to relate to others, respecting certain boundaries. But some people are more intrusive, I should say. And they asked the girl, why is it you always wearing a sweater? Do you see everybody sweating bullets outside? Take it off. Take it off. Take it off. And she fell into tears. And when someone asked her what was wrong with her, she said, it's because I cut myself and I'm embarrassed. I don't want you to see how much the devil has a hold on me. People, it was at that time when a circle of peers surrounded her, hugged her, and said, it's okay. We are all coming as we are. We accept you as you are. So when she removed the jacket, it needed attention. There were more stripes than zebra stripes. All that to say, we need safe places, right? And how this relates to tighten up is because we need to be on top of our physical health, our mental health, and our spiritual health. When she attended these meetings, it helped her physically because she was getting the counseling she needed to stop. It was helping her mentally because when she saw it, it was a secret she could hide. When we all saw it, it was real. We could hold her accountable. We could ask her, why did you do it today? And just to not let you down, some people align and say, look, no cuts. I made her weak. And everyone validates your efforts. Now for me, learning to speak my truth, saying what I needed to say, discarding the fact I belong to this family line, I need to comport myself in this way. People in the community know who we are. I wasn't allowed to live my life. Everywhere I was, I had to be concerned about how I was seen, what I was saying, who I was hanging out with. Isn't that so-and-so's granddaughter? I know I'm not seeing right. This is the kind of commentary I would receive if I was seen in a way. I'm gonna take y'all back, okay? Cause y'all don't even know the half of it. Y'all don't even know the half of this, okay? See, I grew up strictly Pentecostal. Now that's a statement right there. My entire journey through the school system, regardless of fashion, of age group, of approval or disapproval, or flat out depression, you ain't gonna be wearing no pants. In fact, you're not gonna be wearing no jewelry. You lucky you get to wear a little blush. This was my life. This is how I lived. This is why I was always a little different. This is why I wasn't accepted. This is why I learned to accept that I can be welcomed or not since a very young age. I was born in America where people wear denim and jeans and sneakers and jerseys. But I lived according to my belief system. This is why college changed my life. Because when I went to college, although I entered college majoring in pre-law, I took a different direction for many reasons. But one of the main reasons is I wanted to define myself for myself. I wanted to know who I am. Not who I was in a box for, 20 something amount of years. Okay? It's time for me to know who I am, which led me to psychology. Which pointed me in directions of human development. And sociology. Abnormal psychology. And so forth. I got to understand the depth of who I am. I got to experience going inside and being solution oriented, recognizing patterns, areas I needed improvement in. This is why I never had an issue about being alone. Shoot, I need to catch up on self. I need to know how I'm doing. I need to know where I'm going. Who am I? When people was going to clubs and barbecues and talent shows and many other things that the student body does or is invited to when you're in college, I found myself on just focused on why I was there. My involvement with other students was very rare. And this is why the friends I have today are the ones I've had since childhood. And some since high school. Because I wasn't engaging in a lot of the things that we do when we at college. Especially when I'm trying to get to know who I am. College changed my life. I learned I can make my own decisions, right? I can actually follow a thought process and determine my truth. I have confirmation, human rights. I learned the definition of oppression. I was attracted to the vibration of freedom. And so, little by little, I stayed in my lane, right? I continued confirmation. I continued what I was raised in doing. And then I woke up one day, like I said I wanted to lose weight. And I was never, it's the word I want to say. It was never an issue before that. It never even crossed my mind before that. I was happy with how I looked before that. But after learning more about myself, I began to learn more about what I want to wear, how I want to look. I'm going to share something that I find funny. I had a college mate who said, let's go to the mall. You need some new clothes. And I went to the mall with her. She was an exchange student from Martinique. So she was here for her studies and she's returned home back since then. But I remember there was a top she showed me. She's like, this would look good on you. And I put it on. I looked in the mirror and I said, I can't wear this. She says, why? I said, because it's too fitting. You can see my shape. And she said, girl, are you kidding? You are in the age to express yourself. You are in the age to live and love the skin that you're in. That girl changed the rest of my life. I began to be daring enough to go shopping and say, I want to wear this. I'm buying it. I want to wear this. I'm buying it. People, I had moments, I should say experiences, that I went to families, relatives' homes and just to say hello and catch up and, relate. I remember going to one person's home in particular, and I was wearing a pair of pants. And, I was wearing pants. And she said, the next time you come here, make sure you're in women's clothing. Mind you, the pants that I was wearing was from the women's section, right? But because, like I said, we were strictly Pentecostal, even in my 20s. pressure was being applied. And I felt very uncomfortable about it. But because I had my support groups to go to, I was introduced to different perspectives, right? Different ways of seeing things, different ways of processing. I learned that I needed to respect her opinion, right? But I also needed to respect myself in not going to her house when I choose to wear what I want to choose. To the point, she gave me a phone call and she said, I don't see you anymore. Why? It's been 2 weeks now I haven't seen you. My response was, you told me you don't want to see me in a certain way. And I've decided to wear what I want to wear when I want to wear it. And so to keep the peace and be respectful, you haven't seen me. But when I want to wear a dress, when I feel like wearing a skirt, okay, I'll be back. And she said, okay. And I discussed this in a share, in a support group. And they were like, you want to claim your power? Dare to be yourself when you go to her house. And I said, what are you talking about? Wear what you want to wear and go to her house. So I wore what I wanted to wear. And I knew she was not going to approve of it. I said a prayer before I knocked the door. And she was like, just gave me a stare and then gave me a hug. You see, until you decide to be yourself, you will always be carrying weight that's not yours, right? Believe it or not. And this is why everyone was in shock, man. Everybody, like, what are you doing? I need to know what you are doing. You're looking great. And I said, would you believe all it is? Confirmation. All it is being real. Speaking my truth, having a safe place where I can go, say how I feel, say what I'm sick of, what I'm tired of, what I want to change, why I'm mad at myself, what the list goes on. And when I leave, those issues were not pressing me in need to comfort myself. In need to, okay, let's get that Snickers bar. Let's go and get that favorite dessert that you like at that diner. Let's go, get your favorite dish at this restaurant. Because I was balanced. I was authentic. I was nurturing my physical, my mental, and my spiritual. In fact, it was through those support groups I learned that meditation is not demonic. And let me tell you, I said that and some people may be like, huh? People say that for real. Yes, they do. It wasn't even 3 years ago. I went to visit a church and that's what the pastor was speaking on. Like, it's demonic to do yoga. It's demonic to meditate. Everything is demonic, right? It's demonic to listen to secular music. And you wouldn't believe the area that he was saying it in, suburban area. Okay, many other people are very, very, very well-to-do. And they are more invested in spirituality more than those of us that cannot afford to sign up for that yoga class or don't have the time to go to that mindfulness class or that painting class, that singing class. And this is why people are different. This is why many misunderstand me and judge me and believe that I'm hiding something. What they fail to see is the fact, number one, I was raised differently. Okay? Number two, I invested a lot of time into reparenting myself, building my self-confidence. I even attended lectures on how to go to a job interview and win just by way of confidence. Now, I used to be laughed at. Oh my goodness, Grace is going to another workshop. She going to another lecture. Yeah. I was the one. Okay, where's the newspaper? Oh, this is scheduled? Okay, let me put that in my planner. This is scheduled? Yeah, I need some information on that. And other people, when you go to these workshops, maybe 5 or 6 other people are there. Right? And it's available to the entire college. But people have different interests. I was somewhat catching up and needed to learn different things to prepare me, to make me independent, to make me live to my potential. As a matter of fact, I made that affirmation for myself years ago, probably in my college days, that I will live up to my highest potential. I worded it. It's not something I saw somewhere. I decided that was going to be my mission. I wasn't going to just be on earth and just hang out, have fun. You know, I wanted to be the best I can be. And so deciding that, affirming that, attracted that. You know why? Because I was taking care of spiritual, mental, and physical. Remember earlier we spoke of the singing bowl, that we needed balance, right? It's okay to respect those that choose to dress a certain way, those that that are very, okay, put it this way, those that are not open to anything else but what they've been introduced to in their religious circles. It's okay to respect them too. They have the right if they want to dress that way. It's not for me to judge. It's not for me to say they're not cool. It's not for me to say, oh, they're backwards, they're old-fashioned. It's their choice. And it's my choice to do what I choose. And those support groups that I was guided by confirmation, by so-called leaders not to attend, is what helped me to be healthy and taught me how to practice emotional regulation. Learning to not allow my emotions to overpower me, to live my life for me. But it took the commitment of saying that I want to change. I want to be my highest potential, right? And I did it. I did it by having a safe place, people to support me, people that would encourage me. Did you eat your salad today? Did you drink water? Did you walk? People, I would have someone to call me every single morning before I went to work. Did you walk yet? Did you drink the water? Did you take your vitamins? And this is not somebody I was paying. This was someone else in the support group. How many people do you know that can lose 20 pounds in the first month? Because I can testify it can happen. Because I released the baggage. You see? And this is why those of you that know how to lose weight understand that there are ups and downs. There are seasons you gain weight. Why? Because you're unhappy. Because of your circle. Because of the energy. It's not good for you. It causes you to feel you have to compensate in another way to make yourself feel good. So I'm going to eat this or I'm going to eat that. Even while married. I'm going to take myself to the restaurant and I'm going to order what I want to order and enjoy my meal. I'm okay with being with those that are good for me, and I'm okay with just me, myself, and I. Because just me, myself, and I does not mean that I don't have support. Does not mean that I don't have someone to talk to every single day. That does not mean that I don't have healthy people in my life. I don't need to go to your club. I don't need to share. It's funny what I heard somebody call it on YouTube the other day. Your sugar booger. Crack is whack. You understand? I learned how to connect with what was good for me, right? And so it didn't matter what season that I find myself in my life, I know how to get back on track. My life is very balanced. So I have time to be a mother, right? I have time to be a partner. I have time to be a daughter, to be a sister, to be invested in giving back. To finding a way to support my family. This is why I was highly offended. And that's something I will never forget. It will not have the effect that it had when that first was brought to my attention, because since then I've had many more brighter days, right? And they say time heals all wounds. Confirmation. So I was able to let go and understand I define myself for myself. So regardless if that bipolar, crack addicted, sociopath with a touch of personality disorder, liar, scammer, thief, and self-proclaimed prostitute who was committing adultery with my ex because we were legally married, lied and said I was committing adultery. I'm going to tell you, people, sometimes you hear things and the words can't even come out. When you hear someone that said vows, that made vows with you, right? Ganging up on me with a community free for all confirmation. And tell the community that I fit her job description. I, who have maintained my reputation for all my years prior to you. And in marriage, not even in divorce, in marriage, you said I was just your prostitute. Correct? Okay. Let me tell you something. When you know you live your life a certain way, in fact, your entire life evolves around your child and maintaining your wellness because you refuse to allow the circumstances of life to keep you down, because you gotta keep it down, not only for you, but for your child. I always remind myself, single moms don't have that option to confirmation, to fall out and say, I can't. I'm having a crisis. Because those of us that care for our children, we work. Because we don't want our children to grow up and develop depression. So regardless of whatever comes across with me, it will never, y'all just don't even know, interfere with me and my progress. Yeah, we all fall down. But the gift is given to those that get up. Yes, you can be in a relationship. It could be a failed relationship. It could be a scam. He could have just love bombed you. He lied on you. He gave your money to prostitutes. Then he told everybody that you were stealing all of his money. And there's more to the story. Now, it was designed because they were attacking not only my physical, my mental, but they were also attacking my spiritual. So while doing black magic and everything else falling in the lane of low vibrational energy and directing it to me and creating smear campaigns and consistently bombarding everyone with lies and defamations of character. All that stress, deceit, betrayal, backstab, left to fall apart. It was designed for me to fall apart. Yes, I stole all of your money. Yes, I stole what I thought was a man. Yes, he made me pregnant. People. Number one, I thank God. I thank God that I don't have to raise a child with a cursed bloodline. I'm just speaking my truth. I also thank God for answering my prayer. What y'all don't know is the reason why I have issues with conflict, with arguing, with confirmation, with back and forth, is because it was introduced to me too early on in life. And this is why the last podcast I stressed why you should not be having arguments in front of your children and misunderstandings and, making them feel in limbo. Like, stop that, right? Because they grow up to have zero tolerance. It could be beneficial or detrimental. But I made a promise to myself when I was a child. I said, ain't no way that I will allow anybody to make me miserable because you say you're my husband. You see? I heard the messages at church regarding no divorce. I also know my truth. And know that I choose me. I promised me that I would choose me. And finding out the only reason we said vows is because him and his family and corrupted entourage intruded into personal, spiritual accounts, gain insight that I would be great. Statement made. In fact, that I will have enough to continue giving back to those in need. Because God made me the way I am. And that is hope. I always have hope. No matter the circumstance. And I encourage others. I inspire others. I am there in truth for others. But these agents of darkness the Judas, the mother of the Judas, the cousins of the Judas, even the incestual cousins of the Judas. Were all plotting against me, right? This was for gain. He was coerced to marry me so that they can eat. I was the lamb for sacrifice. I wouldn't know what danger I was in if I didn't take care of my physical, mental, and spiritual. I had to be open to receiving downloads, open to exploring territories never encountered before, reading literature from the beginning, building me, rebuilding me, my body, my temple, by myself. See, I didn't have anyone to lean on. Even after I was there and supported and stood up to anybody that got in the way with interference. Regarding what I once believed was a family. Until I woke up. Oh, shoot. No, he ain't. In fact, confirming, no, he ain't. In fact, you were determined to be the butt of the joke. But guess what? God had a better plan, right? And although I wanted to believe the hype and say, no, they go to church. They talk about God. They say, God bless you. I was taken on a journey, on a ride, right? All the way out of hell. And this is why I know that I cannot neglect my spiritual self, because there are those designed to break you down, to offer you for sacrifice. For what they consider the greater good. So what if you lose your life, right? So what if your mother loses a child? So what if your child is now an orphan? So what? I have a car. I can buy a house. I can be an artist. I can be famous, right? So who cares if Grace dies? Well, I'll start by saying I care. I care. I care. This was hard, right? This experience was hard. This experience caused a rebirth in me, where I released all that was weak and embraced the power I was born to be. Grace on a journey. There are seasons you go through in life because you have a story to tell. Because you got out of the mouth of the beast. Because after close to 6 years of death spells, you remain untouched. In fact, you were given prophecy and told your enemies, yes, enemies, repeating, enemies, confirmation that they would fall on their knees and recognize God is God is God. Those that belong to God, that were selected by God, that were prepared by God will be your teachers. I said will be your teachers. God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. Those of you that came in pure energy, in high vibration, know that you are favored and loved by God. You are favored and loved by your universal support team. You are favored and loved by your higher vibrational ancestors. To begin with, the neglect of spirituality we must let go of everything that you think you know. And be confirmation. And be an open vessel. Asking God, speak to me. Lord, speak to me. Ask God to release you from your programming by your oppressors. I said by your oppressors. And ask God to speak to you. Because he will remind you what he made when he created you. What you was born to do. What you have the power to do. Why you can't be touched. By any amount of spell work. Tell me I'm not favored. I said, tell me I'm not favored. Sarcastically speaking. They tried some more. Judas very gone wrong. His families, his friends, his employees on his payroll, his coven members, his harem of whores were all conspiring to bring me to my death. Because in that little inty bitty pea brain that they may possess, I said may, they believed they could overpower God. Oh, Lord, 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 Lord. They believed they could say, God, sit your butt down. I'm running things. We got the power. You're just a figment of my imagination, right? Wow. So that's how holy rollers roll. Oh, my God, my God, my God, my God, my God. People, y'all better learn to start asking God to guide your steps. Stop waiting confirmation. Stop waiting on the liars and the hypocrites, the murderers, the rapists, the pedophiles. To tell you about your walk with God. I said to tell you about your walk with God. When someone shows you who they are, you are to believe them. When someone shows you they are satanic, they are satanic. When someone shows you they wanted you dead, know that they'll always want you dead. You want to know why? Even as I'm speaking, I cannot say God, I want someone dead. My mind cannot go there. Because death is not a joke. But thanks to my rebirth, and the ability to live in my power, I learned to ask for justice proudly and loudly. God, whatever let me speak slowly so it can be registered. Confirmation. Whatever my enemies wanted for me. Y'all ready? Are you ready? I want back to sender. It doesn't matter of how many I'm sorries I receive. Let me make that clear. I said, let me make that clear. How many glamour spells are done? How many erase memory spells are done? How much religious manipulation is done? Confirmation. People, all of me will continue to repeat, back to sender, until I get my full justice. No mercies given. You wanted me to die in an accident, right, Judas? I remember the joy in your voice. Life is so funny. When I said I was in an accident. But it wasn't grave to the point where I had to go in an ambulance. It was just enough to be reported by an officer, recorded. And when I spoke to you the next day, And you said, I haven't heard from you. I said, I know. Why are you talking like that? What do you mean what I'm talking like? Why you didn't tell me you was in an accident? Hear me? Why didn't you tell me you was in an accident? You hear me? Because I heard the smile. Why didn't you tell me that? It wasn't fully registered at the time. And my response was, what are you talking about? Since when do you care anything about me? Since when do you care to know anything about me? Isn't it always about you? That alone was to show you where you stand. If you recollect, we were already divorced. There was no need for you to contact me ever again. But you had your agenda. And you had to submit your reports. And you had to know the effects of the spell work done. So we have to be in communication. Right? So as you got off the phone, you made a phone call. Yo, it's working. You know, when I was asking God to fill in the blanks for me because you know how I am with liars. Because you know once someone lies, I will never believe them ever again. Ever again. So the truth can't come from them. The truth has to come from you. And I kept on hearing, they told on themselves. They told on themselves. Remember what they said. They told on themselves. That's when I remembered you prancing around and say, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire right before we got married. Right? And you had no response as far as how that was going to be achieved. You can't tell me it would be through your sacrifice, right? It was later When I would recall the first conversation with his mom, was strange. The first thing she told me is, do you know how long we've been praying for you? I've been praying for you for a long time. Confirmation. I've been praying for you for a long time. For a long time, she stressed. For a long time. Praying for me, and you didn't know me? I am in full support of the marriage. I give my blessings. See, everyone had a plate, and they were waiting to be served, correct? I must give it to your father, right? At least he had the decency to not ever speak to me one-on-one, right? I spoke to your mom at least 4 times a week. Am I right? Your dad was around. No communication. Never hello. Meanwhile, your mother is all enthusiastic. Don't worry about him. When he gets a job, he's going to contribute. He's very good with contributing. He contributes a lot. It hasn't happened yet, but that's what she said. And the point in all of this is some people have shame. You know what I mean? Like they don't have the audacity to speak to someone when they know they are being sacrificed. Do you see what I'm saying? Some people have more of a conscience than others. Some will be smiling, hugging, kissing, and beyond, knowing your 10 of Swords is on its way. Right? Remember, they told on themselves. Remember what they said. And many, 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 many more memories came. Along with my dreams and my visions, and my divination and a lot more. You see, what I don't see, my family sees. See? I actually have those that love me. Would you believe that? I actually have those that don't see me as sacrifice. Yes, God. Yes. I want my justice. No mercy shown in its entirety. Now, if you sent death, I said, if you sent death, that's a checklist, right? And the best part is, I didn't have to create that energy. It was sent to me. And said to God, I know about all the cancers that you did spell work on to send to me. I know about the Alzheimer's, the aneurysms, the depressions, the addictions. It's as if they opened a dictionary for the first time, right? And then they did spell work for everything under A, B, until Z. That's how it went. This is why, if you pay attention to them, all murderers included, you will witness it take effect into their lives, right? You will witness the deaths, right? The diseases, right? The jail time, right? The rejection. Is that right? And so I find it humorous when I'm being sent signs in relation to desire for reconciliation, confirmation. I said confirmation. Whether it's through music or any other avenue. Insight of you feeling overwhelmed. Insight of thoughts of suicide, right? You co-created the hell that you live in, right? If you sent it to me, the energy doesn't die. So it has to go somewhere, right? And when God recognizes the injustices, that's a home run, right? That's a home run. And so, in my truth, I will tell you, prepare, prepare, prepare again, prepare again, prepare again, prepare again. Because what I see for you is what I already saw for you. When I gave you the prophecy that it would return to you, regardless of your mental illnesses, regardless of your drug addictions, regardless of your unhealed childhood issues, regardless of your regret, regardless of, but you have a family, right? I had a family, right? But I can't go to jail. What about my children, right? I can't go to jail. What about mine, right? But I have this diagnosis and this diagnosis and this diagnosis and this diagnosis, and it's too much. But it was too much for me, right? But now I'm going to be homeless. Now I'm going to lose everything I have. Now I'm going to be rejected. Now I'm going to wish death for mercy. Right? You see? Be careful with me. God said, through you, the world would recognize what God can do. For his chosen. You see, you may feel like, but I'm important too. I had a soul purpose too. I have a storyline too. Indeed, you do. Confirmation. Your storyline is that you tried and that you failed. Right, Lucifer? I said, right, Lucifer's agents? God is God is God. And the fun part is, you actually praying to be scot-free. To receive no judgment, right? In fact, you have the audacity to lie some more and say you wasn't aware of the fine lines. You didn't know the details. You didn't know what you could compromise. You know what happens when you do spell work after spell work after spell work after spell work to delay justice? When it comes, when the day finally comes, there is no negotiation. There are offenses that you've made that I haven't even shared. At least not with the public yet. But the rabbit hole goes deep. Confirmation. Who would have thought your web of lies would bring an exterminator to clean house? All roaches must go. Rats too. Get a clue. I want justice, God, in its entirety, God. No mercies shown, God. My hands are clean. You know how good it feels to be clean. Right? Because then your input has some weight to it. You understand? Confirmation. I said confirmation. Because when you go to God and beg for mercy in your filth, you stink in his presence. Somebody had to tell you. I said somebody had to tell you, demons. It's the day of reckoning. You are fulfilling your purpose. What was the prophecy? On a worldwide stage. Was it not prophesied? I said in 2019, did I tell you the diseases that would infiltrate your camp? Did I not tell you in 2019 that wait a minute, wait for it. I have an assignment to fulfill. An assignment that God will fulfill through me. You see how you lost from the get? Y'all following me yet? I said, are you following me yet? When God has a plan for your life, it doesn't matter the fantasies of the demons. This has been going on since the beginning of time. There has always been jealousy, lies being told, murders, slavery, theft, magic. There is nothing new under the sun. Therefore, as you've read in those books that you claim is yours, y'all better go back and read the punishments that God can give. Y'all ain't ready. I said y'all ain't ready. Hey. Because when you read the punishments that God can give, I just see waterfalls. I wonder why. Waterfalls. The mental illness goes to the extent that you will send text messages, dare to call me out of my name. I am not your baby. You heard? Only one person has that authority. Asking, but why? Why did you block me? Child, have mercy. Have mercy, child. He said, why? Oh, Lord, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Notice how I didn't respond. Notice how I never responded. Notice how I never will respond. In fact, confirmation. In fact, soon enough, you got a surprise coming. But I ain't gonna say what it is. Okay? But you got a surprise coming. Okay? Okay? I'd advise you to respect yourself. Okay? Respect yourself. Justice, justice, justice. I don't need to hear any sob stories. Oh, but she did the same thing to me that I did to you, and now I see it was wrong, and I shouldn't have gone along with it, and I was wrong, and I shouldn't have believed in the lies, and I'm a refrain from what I could say. Because I don't have to say it. Right? Because my dad doesn't play that. Right? Imagine someone does what you did to me to your child, how would you deal with them? Now think about this. What if you actually had power? In fact, you was God. Not a pretend God. Not a demigod. But a supreme God. How would you handle it? I said, how would you handle it? When a group of illegal aliens bum rushed your daughter to kill her, to make a home in her home. Shoot, I'm not going to tell you what I would do. I said, I'm not going to tell you what I would do. Because only God is God. Is God. And only He has the right to take what He gave. And then I have the right to ask. Not demand. Not threaten. Not overpower. But ask for justice. Imagine hearing all those atrocities done to me. Then you go attack my child. I said my child. You simply don't believe in God if you think you could get away with attacking and sacrificing an innocent child. Shame on you. But guess what? Guess what? You have children too. Ain't that something? Do they fit under the category of collateral? Just asking. I said, just asking. Confirmation. And this is why I say, you psychotic people that continue to attack people for no reason with low vibrational magic and have children, you don't love your children. Keep it real. Let's just, okay, you was on the wrong path. Let's get on the right path right now. And the right path requires honesty. Okay? And honesty is you don't care about your children. You don't care if they die in a crossfire. Because when you attack someone and they pray, hey, they messed with my child. Don't go chasing waterfalls. My God. I ain't got nothing to worry about. So it is what it is. You asked for what you got. This is why I'm pushing for all of you confirmation that are listening to this real life chaotic joke / real life. To grow spiritually. Because if I was not spiritually rooted, you would not hear me. Thanks to the Fairy Gone Wrong clan. The Morgan clan. You know what? You came to me and asked me to help you. Meanwhile, you were conspiring with the Fairy Gone Wrong and the Morgan to kill me. All I did was give you guidance. All I did was make myself available to you, encourage you when you debated if you should have an abortion, right? But forgetting to tell me the part that you and Fritz Fairy Gone Wrong was an item, right? Obviously, I know your name. You know why I haven't mentioned you? Because what's coming for you is so grave. I don't even have nothing to say to you. You come to me and ask me how to prepare yourself, how to protect yourself spiritually, what you should do. Basically, learning what I did to protect myself so you could take it to your coven so you can utilize that information to take me down, right? But did it work though? Did it work though? And the funny part is, when I asked why weren't you identified? Because I have guides. Confirmation. And what I said, what I heard was, this is a school. You have to take the classes. You have to pass the test. And so you were in a lesson. You were the lesson to filter out all the frauds, all the trolls, all the liars that request my services. But what's funny about you is, I know the reason you came to me is because you believed in my foresight. Remember? When you said, but should I have the abortion? Should I have the abortion? But I had a dream and I'm not sure and I don't know, but I just need you to say, I need you to say what to do. I'm not God. That's number one. And number two, I will never give any woman that type of advice. You know why? Because it makes me part of the loss. And I choose not to be involved in that. But the fact that I cared for you, I supported you, I taught you, I was there for you, and you backstabbed me, child. I know y'all still don't know who I am, right? But God knows who I am. And this is why He covers me, right? I am who I am in the eyes of God. Nothing more, and certainly nothing less. Live life.